Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It is Thursday, June the 12th. I'm Andrew Gagan. Well, the local share market is set to extend recent gains with ASX futures up around 0.25%. Global stocks were weaker overnight while rising tensions in the Middle East saw oil rise along with gold. The US dollar fell as did Treasury yields while stocks on Wall Street slipped as investors reacted to soft US inflation data and a lack of detail in a U.S China trade deal. Selling accelerated late in the session on reports the United States is preparing a partial evacuation of its Iraqi embassy due to heightened security risks in the region. Among the Mag 7 stocks, Amazon and Nvidia both weighed on the S&P 500. Tesla edged higher after Chief Executive Elon Musk said he regretted some of the negative social media posts he made last week about Donald Trump, as they are saying they had gone too far. Software development platform provider GitLab fell heavily after its quarterly results disappointed investors. Shares of video game retailer GameStop dropped after it reported a decline in first quarter revenue. Shares in Lockheed Martin fell on reports that the Pentagon is scaling back by half its request to Congress for the US Air Force's Lockheed F-35 jets. And coffee chain Starbucks rose on speculation it may sell its China business as it grapples with stiff competition from cheaper coffee and lower prices in its second largest market. Well, US consumer prices increased a less than expected 0.1% in May as cheaper fuel partially offset higher rents, with the annual consumer price index advancing 2.4%. However, inflation is expected to accelerate in the coming months because of the Trump administration's import tariffs. On the tariff front, President Trump says a trade framework with China has been completed, which includes an agreement for China to supply rare earths, as well as allowing Chinese students access to American universities. But a White House official has said the agreement allows the US to charge a 55% tariff on Chinese exports, which includes a 10% baseline reciprocal tariff, a 20% tariff for fentanyl trafficking, and a 25% tariff reflecting pre-existing tariffs. Well, yields on US Treasuries declined for a third straight day on softer inflation, with the 2-year falling to 3.94%, the 10-year fell to 4.41%. Meanwhile, an auction of 10-year Treasuries showed healthy demand for longer-dated US securities. The US dollar index fell around 0.5% following the inflation data. The Aussie dollar initially jumped to close to 65.5 US cents, but then retraced those gains on news of US-Iran tensions. It's currently at 65 US cents. And Bitcoin has slipped to around 108,000 US dollars. Oil prices have surged to their highest in more than 2 months on reports that the US is preparing to evacuate its embassy in Iraq due to heightened security concerns in the Middle East. Non-essential embassy personnel in Bahrain and Kuwait have also reportedly been told to leave. And the UK has issued a warning to vessels transiting the Arabian Gulf, Gulf of Oman and Straits of Hormuz. Brent crude futures close to 4.5% higher at $70 a barrel. Gold has risen on safe haven demand in response to heightened geopolitical risks. Spot gold up 1% to $3,353 an ounce. Ahead today, RBA Head of Domestic Markets David Jacobs will speak, while CBA releases its household spending insights for May. And the ASX has an investor briefing, while Champion Iron trades ex-dividend. That is your day ahead. See you again tomorrow.